It's Cocoville Tuesdays. Woo! Welcome back, everybody. Or if you're new, I'm sorry for that. Um, yep. So this is the second episode. Same day that I'm doing the commentary of the first one. So if you saw that, this is kind of just a continuation of that. This one ended up being a little longer. I think it's about 28, 29 minutes. I could have split it in two. Honestly, I might still into 2:15s. I'm not entirely sure. We'll kind of decide as we go. But yeah, let me know if you would prefer shorter 15-minute style videos or longer, like up to 30. I wouldn't really want to go too far past that just in case. Um, but yeah, so in this one we're just continuing on from where we were before. Basically, I'm making a loop so that main road that's kind of going left to right there, that has another access point. Otherwise, everything would just be going right through the middle of the town, which I don't really want. And again, this is another thing where only having the small roundabouts really kind of hurt, because later on I'm gonna have a whole bunch of trouble to deal with. Now, I did, like I said last video, I have a problem where I don't delete things. I feel bad for AI people in houses. But we saw there I did actually upgrade a road and it deleted some businesses. You know what? I didn't care. It felt good, even. I might even do it again. Only one way to find out. Keep watching, like, subscribe, hit that bell, maybe. Um, if you did comment on the last video saying you want a street named after you, thank you. That won't reflect in this one because, again, this is being recorded on the 26th, and I played it probably on 21st, I think. Actually, I can. No, I can't check here. Um, yeah, so it's a bit in the past for you. Oh, it's in the past even for me, actually, but because this will probably be going out on the 7th of March or 6th of March. I'd open the calendar, but I'm not sure if it's going to stop my preview, so I'm going to keep going because I'm just watching the preview on HitFilm right now. I have it sped up, but I haven't actually done anything else. So you can see here, somehow, I don't know what happened, if it got struck by lightning. I don't know if that's a feature, but one of my power lines just broke and I lost power to my water pumping stations, which was a disaster. Um, so a big part of this is I move from kind of the square design that you can see there that we did in the first episode, and I go for more kind of organic, kind of rounded areas, which I started to do at the top. Um, and then later on in this, we'll also be making a bigger kind of subdivision, just to the right. But we're still at that small town state where I really don't have access to a lot of things, so it's it's gonna change a lot over time. I put all these little places down now while I can, and then later on when I get better stuff, it kind of gets bolstered that way. So we just got Boomtown, which gives me highways, which I can't really access yet, but um, elder care and cemeteries and stuff. Um, elder care and child care, I don't really never really used much. Also, when I played before, they didn't have all these bus lanes, so that's all new to me. Um, I have to kind of look into it more. I was surprised to see that. I thought it was part of a paid DLC, but I guess not. And here I start adding bus routes. Bus routes are kind of my main form of transport um, until I get metro, and then I try and have a bus stop basically going to every metro station as well, just to kind of line those up. And I'm hitting that 4 minute mark where my voice just goes, so I'm gonna take a nice drink of bottled water. So here comes some ASMR just for you. If it picks up, I don't know if it will. That's good stuff. Um, so yeah, again, if you didn't catch it before or if you're new, traditionally I play this on 3 times speed in game, and it's 4 times on here. Also, new buses while this is on screen. Didn't have that last time I played either, so I guess that came in with it. It's cool that you can have the longer buses and different passenger capabilities. Definitely comes in handy because I end up, you'll see here in later on in this video and possibly the next one. Some of my bus stops just got absolutely loaded, and I'd have like 200 people waiting. So originally, before they added these new buses, you just have to have like 15 buses going. But now that you can have like the articulated or the double decker and stuff, it makes it so much easier. I did kind of realize later on that my bus stop placement caused some issues because they kind of take up a good bit of traffic. I Full disclosure, I guess. I've played up to episode 4, and I haven't used bus lanes yet. I should probably try them next time I play just to see, kind of if they're better or worse for traffic. In theory, they should be better, but in reality, even I've never really seen them be better. Like a 2-lane plus bus lane is basically just put a 3-lane, and it's gonna be better in my experience. Now that's IRL, not in game, so it could be different. But yeah, we're putting down some schools and stuff. I did look at bigger roundabouts now that those are available, and kind of thought, well, I should use those. Don't know if I get to it in this, but we'll see. Obviously, I've kind of jammed in a park there as well. And my main issue, it started now and it will continue for a long time, is this horrible area here where I have roads coming off the highway and coming into that small roundabout that just isn't big enough for anything I want to do. So I realized a lot of people that were going to these stores on the one-way road basically had to go to the store and then just leave on the highway and basically never come back, which led to issues with supplies and customers going to those stores. So I had to put that little turnaround there that you saw, which is not a great solution, but it's really the only thing I could come up with at the time, just because it's right on the edge of the property that I owned anyways. So here I'm browsing more roads, trying to see if there's anything else that's new that I haven't seen yet. And then we're starting another little subdivision here. I say little, it actually ended up being fairly large. Psych, that's not it. That's just another little addition that I did, and I started immediately running out of power. So I started going with these water-based windmills because they're fairly consistent. You don't have issues where they just drop off. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Where they drop off like crazy, but yeah, you really don't have many great options when you first start unless you just want a ton of windmills. Okay. So I guess I did try the bus lane. There's no way I kept that because I don't remember that in the slightest. Okay, yeah, I got rid of it, which just ruined all the houses there, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, so I've got bus routes servicing pretty much this whole area. What I'm looking at right now is looking for roads with trees or grass, medians, or anything like that, because that helps with land value a lot. And I try and have those. Wow, why am I yawning so much? I try and have those pretty much everywhere. They do cause some problems because they're a lot bigger. And then I realized, oh yeah, unique buildings. I should probably put all those down. And then this started my trouble with landfills filling up. Because, yeah, when you're in like a boom town, which I think I am right now, you still don't have access to the incinerator, which causes issues. And here I'm just building up this little roadway that I made. I think I made this whole area a priority road, Subscribe Boulevard, because subscribing is a priority, right? Did you do it yet? Do it right now. That's my interactive task to you. I know you're either working or you're just sitting there watching like, wow, this kind of sucks or something. Go back to the tab that has this video open and click subscribe. Unless you're already subscribed, because I'll unsubscribe you. Don't do that. Yeah, I saved this because I wanted to try and fix this roundabout by upgrading it, which immediately wiped out all the buildings, of course. Made it a little bit better. But this intersection leading up to it from the highway is still just a horrible design. So I revisit this later, but I don't know who Amaskawa was, so I renamed this to TTV/TMT CoCo Street. And then it didn't work. There we go. Yeah, I renamed a couple more of these streets, but not a ton. And that's just the mall unique building there. I took a look at in the dark. Doesn't look bad. Immediately wiped out more buildings, and then others were built before I rezoned, so they didn't even use up all the squares. Not ideal, but hey. And then this, yeah, again trying to fix it, and it's just not working. Getting a highway to merge into a roundabout, even getting a highway, which is 3 lanes each way, to merge into a 6-lane road, there's just no good way of doing it, at least in vanilla City Skylines. I don't know if there's something else. Oh, what's this? Mighty Titan CoCo Street, the YouTube channel that you're currently watching? Wild. I also do some district stuff here in a little bit. I keep looking at those roundabouts thinking, oh, maybe I should put a bigger one, and then I don't. I just regret it always. And then I tried to plan out just a little bit more in this area. We don't touch this a ton in this episode, but I did realize, hey, there's ore here, and I have never once had an ore industry like specialization. And at this point, I already had it unlocked, so I figured, may as well try it, see what it brings. I think for some reason, I thought it would help with my oil power plant, which it doesn't, because that would be the oil industry. So I don't think it really helps much. Most of these trucks go out of town, but that's fine. They look kind of cool, but obviously horrible for air quality and stuff like that. But I use them just to see what they're like. It's also non-renewable, so I wanted to see what that was like. We did have a big worker shortage, so I had to pretty much immediately start building more housing. And you can see I put a bus route down there in hopes that the commuting would kind of just switch to buses. Don't think it happened, but I really wish I could stop yawning. But yeah, half those ore buildings I think we ended up losing, just because there wasn't enough workers right off the bat, so they kind of got abandoned. And then there was enough workers that they filled in slowly and got rebuilt. So yeah, I would put a little bit more commercial down. I'm always kind of slow on putting commercial, but we're starting to run into power issues again. So I think just put down more wind power for now. I do move to that oil power plant, and I think I get rid of the coal one. But yeah, you could see half the industry there was abandoned. This is a nice overhead view of this roundabout to see if I needed to do anything else. And I try, and I don't think I really get a solution that works still. It also renamed the street on me again. But I don't think I rename it again until later. But yeah, I ended up with quite a bit of money here, actually. That disappears quite quickly, and then I start looking at city policies and stuff, which I don't really use until later on. But I do... One of the big things that we're going to be doing here is districts. So I figured, keeping in the theme of shamelessly plugging, as I do, I would make it like, well, if I was in control of this city and I wanted all my subs, my followers, etc., to live in this city, where would I put them? So aside from the strip, I named all of these after different groups of people. Like my YouTube subs would live up there. My Twitch followers would go there. Discord members. Yeah, you can join all of those. All of those should be in my YouTube profile, I believe. I know they're in my Twitch one. And I tried getting a couple like nighttime shots here because I wasn't sure if I was going to split the video here. I think I'll just keep it going because realistically, I haven't done a ton. I guess we did get the whole Discord member section and the Autumn Hills area, but we do more. So now I put in another roundabout that is too small. Actually, is that the larger one? It's hard to tell because they're not really that big. I think that is the larger one, so it's probably fine. But yeah, this is where we work on the subdivision that I mentioned earlier. Put this on the north end. Yeah, it ruined my whole roadway again. So we try and fix that. And then we start on the subdivision, I believe. Yep. And this one, again, I went with more of an organic look. I've seen some kind of more or less completely circular subdivisions and stuff. This one, I couldn't really get it to be circular just based on the existing road and also the river up there causing problems. So we got it close. Not as close as I would like, but not horrible. Good enough for me. So it's kind of this kind of off circle thing. It's fun. Which is a whole bunch of power lines in the middle of it that are really great. This ended up being a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, this subdivision. Originally, I wasn't going to make it that huge. I also, again, ran into the issue of abandoned industrial buildings just because there weren't enough workers. I think most of the ones that were in the forest ended up in the oil. I'm not sure. And this is the big update to Busy Town, or big unlock, where we get the proper fire station, police headquarters, and most importantly for me is the roads that don't look like trash. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next part of this, is just getting all the roads done up. And then, I did want to stick a park in that area just for the sake of keeping the land value up, and that main road going left to right. I try and keep it like a shopping area, basically. So here we're going to upgrade the roads. There were a couple spots that kind of ran into issues, and also some that I realized later, because there's actually two types of, I think it was the 4-lane road that had decorations. Only one existed in, like, from what I had seen before. This one. So I used the medium size, or do I use the small? Yeah, I try and use the medium sized one, and it just doesn't fit very well. So I end up basically wiping out this whole community. Right down to nothing. Except for that one small area that I didn't do. I hope I do that. Oh yeah, I had to move the school out of the way and the park, and then I put it back. That's right. Tried to put it back in the same spot, didn't really work because it wiped out that little path that I'm now putting back in. I try and use, it's not really consistent because I have Snow Beach, but in general, I try and do dirt paths in low density residential just for the look of it, and then the paved path in higher density. So we upgrade all of these, and then I realize there's a different 6-lane, and then I go back and look, and it's like, well, which one should I actually use? I don't know why there's two, and I don't know why they take up different sizes. But this, again, I wipe out all the YouTube subs. It's for their benefit, though. Or should I say it's for your benefit, because you're subbed, right? And click subscribe when I said, please. I have a family, they have to eat, please. But yeah, we go through, I think we upgrade pretty much all the roads in this. This is the biggest, like, destruction phase, I would say, because for some reason adding trees just destroys houses, and they don't move houses far enough away from the roads like actual low density housing tends to be. Usually there's enough of a gap that if the government needs to upgrade the roads, there's enough space. I know they did that at my house and put a massive ditch, which has caused nothing but issues, but hey, yeah, we wipe out all of that. So again, in an ideal world, you'd be able to just build these roads from the start, but it's not an ideal world. So we go with this, and I think it makes everything look a lot better, except for when you're in the industrial area and it just puts dead trees. It's kind of a nice touch, but it's not the greatest looking. But yeah, so we still have this horrible area here. Nice donut cars though. We do upgrade it, but again, I think probably next episode or the episode after. Actually, it's probably episode 4. That's part of the reason I kept this together, is because I'm probably just gonna do one episode per sitting of me playing. So even if it's longer, like this one, I played for 2 hours instead of 1 hour, so it's half hour instead of 15 minutes. I just keep it together. That way I can kind of confidently say, yeah, this happens in this episode or that episode. But yeah, I think in episode 4 we redo the whole kind of highway entranceway ordeal. And on this one, I think I try and upgrade the roundabouts, and it just doesn't really happen. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I put sound barriers there, which again helps with people in housing not getting super angry. And then we redo a little bit of that. The forestry area just suffered from lack of workers for quite a while, but it was fine because we had the ore industry anyways that kind of took those workers over. I'm still looking over there, trying to figure it out, and I left it. And then we kind of populate this little subdivision. Although the demand isn't super high, but it does come back. And yeah, I realized that the power lines were just cutting off the residential area, so they weren't actually being built up properly. They were all just kind of small houses around it. So I got rid of those. And then the process of trying to make sure everything had power and was linked up while not having power lines everywhere was kind of tricky. But yeah, I think it went pretty well. Both my landfills filled up. So still had that problem until the incineration plants came in, which doesn't happen until episode 4 as well, I think. So here I try and just get some shots of the town, and then realize it would look horrible with the industrial in it. I watched the cinematic to see what that would be like. Yeah, it's alright. It's got some good scenes. I don't know why it's stuttering. I don't know if it does that in the final video. I hope not, but it might. Follow the old hot dog van around. I think it looks pretty nice. How it is, everything's kind of separated fairly well. Obviously, the highway access is the main issue, but kind of have to do it that way. There's no way around it until I buy more property and can actually access the highway from different places. And I do have the issue of the garbage being so far away from half of the residential area, but and here I'm trying to place more paths without just ruining everything. I should have done it before the houses started being built, but I didn't. So yeah, this one I went with the gravel because it is mostly residential. Probably doesn't help a ton given that there's not a lot that they're going to be walking around to in here, but at least, you know, you have the kind of practical thing there that in theory would work. And here I build the oil power plant, I believe. Yep. And delete the coal one, which works for now. But later on, I realize it's not good to have the oil power plant on the opposite side of the town from the highway, because it takes a long time for the oil to get there, but we acknowledge that later. So I build another bus route for this town. My problem with bus routes is they always end up sprawling everywhere, but at the same time, it doesn't really cause too many issues. There are a couple spots later on where I realize, oh, having this bus stop here is just stopping traffic. I probably shouldn't do that. But being able to have the bigger buses, I think, helps because you can have just one big bus instead of 2 or 3 smaller ones that are taking up a lot of room. So that's good. I wish when the buses went into the bus station, though, they kind of pulled off the road enough that traffic can move properly, because sometimes they just stop everything. Anyways, I guess if I had the bus route, it'd be fine, but then I'd still rather have 3 full lanes than 2 lanes in the bus lane. Just because I know kind of how dumb it can be IRL. But yeah, what else is going on? Yeah, so I'm looking at this bus stop. I'm like, man, that's a lot of people. And then I don't. Okay, I thought I put more buses on the line, but maybe not. It's a little tricky to remember what I've done. I mean, this was like it was last week when I did this, I think. So it's not terribly far away, but it's not super easy to remember either. What did I call this? Titan Park, right? Titan as in, yeah, TMT, the Mighty Titans. Named it after that. Titans are also what my tier 1 sub, well, any of my subs actually, on Twitch get called on Discord. So yeah, you want to be a Titan on the Discord? Sub on Twitch. You only have to do it once and you're a sub for life, or a Titan for life. But yeah, here I'm just kind of trying to get some shots of the city from around. I wasn't sure how nauseating it would be. It's a bit much, but it's not horrible. I do have just a couple static shots that I do near the end here, but that's pretty much all the work that we do. So we got the big subdivision, we got the smaller ore industry, and we kind of upgraded the main strip. So I think it went pretty well. Yeah, we're a little over 29 minutes, but it seemed to go by pretty quick for me. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments. And again, same thing I said in the last video. If you have any suggestions or preferences on the length of these videos, or if you want a road named after you or anything like that, just let me know, and I can, well, the roads, you'll see it in a couple episodes, probably 2 or 3 episodes down the line is when that would reflect. And then suggestions on the length and stuff like that would apply after episode 4, because I want to get 4 done first so that I have a month worth ready to go and scheduled for Tuesdays at 12 noon Eastern time. So that's the plan for now. I want to have all 4 of those, so that'll cover March, and then I'll be playing it in the background, hopefully, and still kind of be able to keep that pace of a video a week, which is basically one hour or 2 hour play session for me, so that should be doable. And then I'll actually be a man of my word with keeping keeping up content instead of saying, hey, it's episode 1 and then there's no episode 2, or large gaps in between episodes, which Shameless Plug Podcast is currently experiencing. Check that out on YouTube. That's my podcast with Lick My Sock 117. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of this episode. It'll just cut to a nice scenery shot, and that'll be it after I save it. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.